Welcome to the Great Awakening Show. I am Joanne, Divine Life Yogini, and on this week's show, we have Jeremy Jones. So on this show today, we will be talking about the secret life of water, its unknown intelligence, and the challenges of providing healthy water for ourselves. Many of us no longer trust the quality of our tap water, seeking instead a source of healthy water by choosing to use a filtration system or opting to buy bottled water. Unfortunately, this contributes to plastic bottle pollution. In his passion to provide healthy water for his family, Jeremy researched and experienced many different water systems, discovering in 2002 the pioneering work of the Austrian named scientist Johann Grander. Applying this revitalization method to his tap water was so conclusive that for the past 21 years, Jeremy has been an exponent of Johann Grander's water innovation. 2 months ago, Jeremy invited me to experience the revitalization of my tap water. He explained how water energetically retains the damaging imprint of the unnatural environment that water is forced to flow through on its journey to our taps. Johann Grander's approach reverses these detrimental impacts by re-collaborating and fully restoring tap water's coherence, structure, and natural vitality. The Grander water revitalization method is recommended by many health therapists and used throughout the world in homes, spa hotels, and swimming pools. This provides a biologically stable, vibrant water quality, reminding us of how our water is meant to be.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Jeremy, welcome to the Great Awakening Show. So, Jeremy, what does this great awakening to water mean for you and for us all? And where does your passion from water come from?
My journey started, would you believe it, I was on the Trans-Siberian Railway going to Beijing, and I was on medication. I've been on medication during my adolescence for epilepsy. And there happened to be a neurologist on the train, and I asked him, I said, am I healed from taking these pills? And he said, no, they're suppressing the symptoms. So I was really upset by this. And anyway, I arrived in Beijing, woke up the next morning to see people doing Tai Chi in the park. And something got transmitted in the stillness that was being transmitted arrived in my nervous system. And I thought, whatever they're doing, I want to learn how to do it. So I got back to the UK, started studying Tai Chi, became a shiatsu therapist, and I studied something called macrobiotics, which is a way of understanding the energetic quality of food. And within the macrobiotic paradigm, there is a whole connection with the way nature's energy moves. And so their invitation was to look at spirals. And of course, the Milky Way galaxy is a spiral, and weather systems are spirals, water vortexes are spirals. So the spirals are everywhere. And it applied very much to the notion of how to create balance in food. So one of the first awakenings for me that does apply to water as well was the idea that food has an energetic quality. So in the West, we have this calorific idea that if you burn, say, an apple, say a banana and a carrot, and they have the same kilojoules of heat, we just call that energy. We don't relate to the food as having a quality. And of course, a banana grows in the tropics, a carrot grows down under the ground in the Northern Hemisphere. So in the macrobiotic narrative of learning how to heal myself, I had to learn the energetic quality of foods. And so I met this macrobiotic doctor, and he said, we have to learn to heal ourselves from the inside out. And that was a really powerful distinction. And so because of that, I was very concerned about everything I was putting into my body. And of course, water was one of the key foundational things that we all use. And that began me on my water journey. And so the really my whole journey started with looking at well-being distinctions and well-being resources. And one of the most beautiful things that was an epiphany moment for me was realizing that we've been taught to think of things horizontally, and our education is very fragmented, whereas the ancients looked at the vertical. And if you think about the spiral of the Milky Way galaxy, and you think about the way in which we have spirals on the tips of our fingers, our DNA has spirals. And then if you look at a cross section of the DNA, it looks like a mandala. And then if you look at the cymatics, if you vibrate water or sand on a plate with different frequencies, you get these beautiful shapes forming. And of course, for me, the awakening was that we are the divine download. We are living manifestations of water dancing us into existence, because without water, life doesn't exist. I mean, I have clients that have been staying in hotels in Austria, and they literally say, I want to have this fitted in my house. And I say to them, well, hang on a second, go slowly. So start slowly and then build it up. But they say, no. If they've had the experience, they want it. If you're coming to it new and you've never had the experience, then you can literally start with a bottle of blue water next to what we recommend, like a filter jug. And then that way, which is how you started.
Yes.
So
yes.
What was your experience of that? Because that's been your experience today.
Yes. You very kindly sent it to me. And first of all, I did the filtered water, and I had a glass of that. And then I took a glass of tap water and I put that on the table next to the Grander bottled water. I just touched it like this, right? And I left it for about 25, 30 minutes. And then I come back to it. And all my children was already curious. And, and then first of all, we just had a sip of the tap water just to remind us how disgusting that is. Yeah. Because you can taste the metally, it's awful. Right. So yeah. And we was like, okay, yes. Then we took the tap water, which was in a completely different glass. So we knew it was that one that was next to the bottled Grander water. And we tasted that and it was beautiful. Absolutely divine. We couldn't believe that was tap water, completely revitalized in that amount of time.
Not even filtered though.
That wasn't even filtered. We didn't filter it. We didn't filter it. Yeah. We didn't filter it. I think my son, he said, no, I want to try it. And it was like only like 5 minutes, not the full half an hour. And he said, oh no, it tastes just like tap water. I said, no, you've got to let it revitalize it. You've got to give it time. And then when we gave it time, it was astonishing, because even all my children, we could all definitely taste the difference. It was not tap water. It was completely revitalized, different water, but it was the same, and the one from the jug, which you kindly gave me as well, I'm using that all the time. I use that. It just tastes beautiful. You said it's got that beautiful filter through it that just gives it so many minerals, and it just tastes wonderful. And I use that to clean all my vegetables and to boil my tea and everything. Yes.
That's fantastic.
And I use the jug. I use it there, but I put it next to the bottle of Grander water. So it's revitalizing it twice. Yeah.
And to be fair with you, that's, I mean, the total cost of that, we put together a package. It's like, it's just under 90 quid, £86.55, including postage and packaging. And so the idea with that is that you literally, for that level of investment, can have a quality of water in your home that means you don't have to buy bottled water.
Exactly. And can I ask you, what is the difference? What is the difference between the distilled water and the water and this water from the jug, from the Grander?
So distilled water is essentially what it says on the tin. It's been evaporated and then condensed. Therefore, it doesn't have any minerals. It has nothing in it. But according to Victor Schauberger, who I invite people to learn about, he would say that that water is dead water. In other words, it hasn't had that extraordinary life cycle journey of sinking deep within the earth, coming through an aquifer, being naturally mineralized and coming out. So he called it juvenile water. It's the same as a reverse osmosis water. So what we would recommend is that if you have a distiller or a reverse osmosis system, that you remineralize it very, very slightly with good quality minerals, a few drops, and then you revitalize it. And then you're putting back a structure and a provenance into the water. So distilled water also, there's problems with distilled water is that if you don't, it still has to be filtered because you get what's called cross-migration of volatile gases. So if you drink distilled water on its own, it actually tastes horrible because so you've got to put it through a carbon filter. And so no, that would be the distinction I would draw with just. And the thing with distilled water, you've got to use a lot of electricity to boil the water to do it. So one of the great things about the technology that I'm involved in is that you can either have an accessory board or the bottled water, and then you're set to go for a very low investment. You can have great water in your home where you haven't got to be tethered to buying bottled water.
Yes,
again.
exactly.
And then if you want to graduate, you can go to a whole house system. I mean, they start around about 4K. They're expensive.
No, wait. 4,000 for the whole house?
Up to 3 bathrooms, yeah.
That's not expensive at all.
Well,
compared to different other water systems, like I know the Kangen one, that's like $4,000 on its own.
I know. And I have that conversation with people, and they say, well, because the thing is, we know that our stomach is an acid environment. Yes. And so the idea of drinking alkaline water, I think for me, there's quite a few doctors that don't agree with that narrative. And the thing is that we want to alkalize our blood. We have to do it through our food, not through our water, And so you're absolutely right. The Kangen is expensive. And often I say to people, sadly, who've actually already bought a Kangen, and they go, oh my God, I could have bought one of your systems instead,